Welcome to Phoenix Healing Podcast, where mental health is our number one priority, featuring Liam's Muniz. Enjoy. Hello, my beautiful souls. Welcome to Phoenix Healing Podcast, where mental health matters, with Liam's Muniz. So this will be episode 2 of our podcast, and honestly, I wasn't expecting to record today, but there's been this ongoing topic in my life lately that I really wanted to share and kind of sit down and talk about it with you guys. So that's what we're going to do today. Today's topic is on love. What is love? What is unconditional love? How do we achieve love? And we'll just see how it flows from there. As per usual, before we begin speaking on our topic, we're going to do some affirmations to ground ourselves in the topic, ground ourselves together, remain aligned so that we may absorb information, learn, teach, connect as authentically as possible. So, without further ado, drum roll please. Let's start with some affirmations, and of course you can repeat them if you like, or you are more than welcome to just sitting and listening. All you have to do is believe. Okay, let's jump into it. I am deserving of unconditional love. I open my mind, body, soul, and spirit to receiving unconditional love. I am deserving of respect. I am love. I am appreciated. I deserve to be surrounded by people, places, and things that fulfill me unconditionally. I am more than enough. I deserve all of the amazing things that the universe has to offer. I open up my heart to receive and give unconditionally. Yes, let's get the little snaps in there. Okay, so I'm just gonna dive right into it because this is really a natural flow conversation today. Like, I don't have any notes, anything. I wasn't planning on it, so let's just jump into it. I was thinking earlier, like, my perspectives on what love is and how love can be achieved has evolved and transformed in so many ways throughout this journey. And I know that there's still so much more for me to learn and understand, but my understanding of love has evolved into like this big bubble of me viewing it as acceptance. Through my perspective, love is acceptance. And recently, I learned that love isn't a feeling. It's not a feeling. And that's such a misconception when it comes to love. Even for me, that's what I thought. I was like, okay, like every time I felt this feeling of butterflies and fulfillment, I was like, oh, so this must be love. But the thing is, we can feel that feeling of butterflies and fulfillment and comfort, even if something is comforting our trauma or validating, like bad habits and trauma and different aspects of our being that can actually corrupt our growth. And by me bringing this up is when we believe that love is a feeling, let's put it into an example of connections and relationships. Doesn't have to be romantic, but let's put into that perspective where it's like, if we believe that love is a feeling and there's someone who enters our life when we're in a mental space that's not the best, they come in and they're also in that mental space. We can create this trauma bond, this bonding where we are validating our own negative habits and we're kind of contributing to each other's negative habits. And that can feel like love, right? That can feel like that comfort, that can feel like commitment, that can feel like us fulfilling one another, when in reality it's not. So when we keep that paradigm that love is a feeling, we look for it in everything that we do. So if you're, doing an activity and you feel that feeling again, it's like, oh, so this is love. I must love doing this. And if you're doing something, or you're with someone who, again, validates these bad habits, you can still get that feeling, and you might think, oh, this is love. I need it in my life. This is what I deserve. This is what I want to continue to attract. And what that's going to do is it is subconsciously structuring almost this magnet in your energy, in your vibration, where you are going to continue to attract those people, places, and things that make you feel that feeling, even though it's not really unconditional love. It's a conditioning, you know? And that's something that I've experienced so much in my past. I'm going to be open and vulnerable with you because I think it's important to, but that's something I've really experienced ongoing in my life, where it's like, where it's like, I didn't understand that love is a choice. And I personally was always taught to, just be open to people. And it was almost as if I felt like I was obligated to be open to people and continuously give to people. Because by me giving and giving and giving, it gave me that feeling, right? That feeling of butterflies and quote unquote fulfillment. But in reality, it gave me a sense of validation to my existence. It gave me a reason to live. It made me feel like I was important, like I was valuable, because someone else told me so, right? And so that conditioned me to only feel loved and only feel valuable if someone else validated that for me. And that's where that conditioned love comes in, where it's like, it wasn't unconditional because I wasn't doing these things as a choice. I was doing these things and helping and opening up and being a rug for people because I felt that I was obligated to, in order for it to be love, or in order for me to feel that feeling again, which I thought was love. And so that led me to a lot of connections that were unfulfilling, a lot of connections that weren't true, a lot of connections that were very superficial. They made me feel like I was valuable because I had something or someone to nurture, something or someone to tell me, hey, you're good, you're beautiful, just validated me with affirmations and gifts and all these different things that made me feel like I am worthy as a human being. But that is not love. And I had to learn that, I would say the hard way, but I feel like we all learn it this way. In order for you to understand what is truth, you must first experience what is not truth. You must first experience the deceit, the mask, the illusions, so that you can uncover and understand the understanding of what is your truth. And I don't want to get off track a little too much. We're just very natural flowing right now, but yeah. And recently I've been reading this book gifted to me by an amazing king, and the book is called The 5 Love Languages. And I was always confused about my love languages, and we can honestly touch topic on it in this episode. I was gonna think of doing another one, but I'm like, you know what? It's also interconnected with what unconditional love is and how we can achieve it, that we're gonna talk about it here. But just to share some of what I read in that book, it really taught me that love is a choice, that it isn't something that comes, I would say it doesn't come naturally, in terms of, when you meet someone, like we're just jumping around right now, but when you meet someone and it's like love at first sight, or that's the feeling you get, you feel this deep inner connection. In the book, he stated that there is this period where some people call it the honeymoon phase, but I'm not too sure on what words he used specifically, but he mentioned that it's this phase where we fall into this deep elusive love, where it's like we feel that, yes, this is the person, this is the one, I want to love them for the rest of my life. Like, it's natural, I feel it, it's do. And then after a period of time, and we lose that period of feeling that intense inner connection. We start to feel like maybe this isn't the one, because we don't feel that anymore, right? When you have that idea that love is a feeling, once you don't have that feeling anymore, you're instantly going to think, oh, this isn't love anymore. Like, this isn't for me anymore. And in reality, it's because we're conditioned to believe that we are our feelings, right? That we are our emotions. So when we feel fulfilled, when we feel value, when we feel this idea or sense of love, we're like, yes, I'm exactly where I need to be. This is exactly what needs to be happening. This is what needs to be in my life. And a lot of times those are illusions, you know? So with what the book was saying, he was stating that a lot of marriages end in divorce, because once they're out of that period of that sense of, I'm trying to think of the words that he used, but I don't remember, so I'm trying to summarize it in the best way possible. But it's like that illusion that this is unconditional love, that this is the one. And I'm not saying that when you feel that it's not true. What I'm saying is, there is going to be a period when it feels like that honeymoon phase, when it feels like it is unbreakable, and you're going to feel it. The word that you need to focus on is feel. Because once that feeling is gone, once you're out of that quote unquote honeymoon phase, you have to choose to continue to love that person. Because speaking from experience, I did experience that honeymoon phase in, honestly, my most recent relationship, or my last relationship I was in. And it was such an intense feeling that I just dove into it, right? I dove in head first, not really knowing how to love or what love really was. But because I felt that feeling, I was like, okay, this must be it. This must be the one. I must be making the right choice right now. And so I dove in. And once that feeling started to disappear a little bit or fade off and water down, I didn't know that I had to choose to continue to love. Because one of the base things for you to understand what unconditional love is and how to love others is that you must understand how to love yourself. And that was something I was missing, right? So it was like, because I didn't know that love was a choice, I always thought it was a feeling. I tried to do things. I tried to create this persona that would make others feel loved. In terms of relationship that I'm talking about, it's like I tried to create this person. I tried to be like, what is the word? Jeez. The words are like flying out of my brain, but I just try to be the person that they wanted me to be, while I was in the process of losing myself, because I wasn't choosing to love. I wasn't choosing to put myself first. I wasn't choosing to create something new out of what we had already created. You know what I'm saying? And so I was at a loss. And things ended up going south, but it didn't have anything to do with the person. It was that I didn't have a clear understanding of what unconditional love is. And unconditional love is acceptance. And when you accept, you are able to make a choice. You're either choosing to walk away, or you're choosing to continue to love. You're choosing to understand your person or your friendship or your family members or whatever connections are in your life. This could even be with pets, because love is a universal language. Love is something that You can choose to express, you can choose to create with whatever it is that you have, whether it is a person, a place, a thing, anything. It is universal. It has no barriers. It has no limitations. And that is what makes it so unconditional. Now, conditioned love, it does have limitation. It does have barriers. So when we talk about relationships in this society, they view love, or we're taught to view love as something that's almost like an aesthetic, where it's not unconditional. It is conditioned because we have this picture perfect marriage or this picture perfect family. And once things don't feel like what you are expecting it to, you start to kind of push back almost, or we might naturally feel like pushing back. We might naturally feel like saying, this isn't love anymore. This isn't what I want. This isn't what I signed up for. But when it comes to love and commitment, you are signing up for unexpected things. You are signing up for a journey of almost like walking blindly, because when you walk blindly, you're walking with faith. And when you're walking with faith, you don't know what's going to come next, right? You don't know what's ahead. You don't know if you're going to have to leap or jump or crawl or whatever it may be. But you have a free will choice if you are willing to tackle whatever it is that comes when it comes. And that's the same thing with love. That's the same thing with relationships. That's the same thing with connections. You don't know what's going to happen next because we are ever changing. And in a relationship, that person and you are going to be continuously changing and evolving and transforming. And for you to experience unconditional love, you have to choose to change, evolve, and transform as well. And when you are doing that, when you allow yourself to evolve, when you allow yourself to go through these changes and experiences, you're opening up the door to these experiences that are going to be long lasting. You're opening up the door to people who are also evolving internally and who also accept themselves eternally. So that brings me back to my perspective on love. I define love as acceptance, holy acceptance, where you don't judge, you don't limit, you accept what is, and you understand that you have a free will on how you choose to move forward. And this is such an important topic, and I really, really, really wanted to sit down and talk about it, even if it's just off the top of my head because I didn't plan on it, but I wanted to sit down and talk about it because it's important that we understand what unconditional love is and what it is to you. Because as I was stating with the 5 love languages, the book that I was reading, it's not that those are different variations of the feeling of love. Because remember, love is action. Love is a verb. Love is taking action. These 5 love languages, they're just different forms that we can turn love into action. So when it comes to affirmations, my love language, I feel, is affirmations. It is quality time. It is even sometimes acts of services, but I feel like that kind of goes back for me to quality time. But yeah, it's not that I'm doing it to evoke feelings. I'm doing it because that is my expression of love. Love is action, right? So by me doing these things, that's me taking action to express unconditional love. Whew, let's take a little breather. Let's take a little breather, because I feel like as I was speaking, it was just, I wasn't really aware of the things that I was saying. It was just flowing out naturally because it's such a strong belief for me, especially on this journey. I feel like it's my greatest lesson has been self-love. It has been unconditional love, and it pops up everywhere because it is everywhere. Unconditional love is everything. And once we open up the space to it, once we open it up the space to acceptance, we can achieve unconditional love collectively. And that is why I wanted to bring it up today. That is why I wanted to sit down and take the time and the space and the energy to share, to be open, to speak my mind, and I want you guys to speak your mind just as much, because I mentioned this in my last episode, if you haven't tuned in, where I was speaking on what is mental health and why it's important. I mentioned like, hey, I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking with you. Because even if you don't know what I'm saying, to me, when I speak my truth, I speak universal truths, because they come from a place of love. They come from a place of healing, of wanting to change, of wanting to grow and transform. And it all starts internally, really. So when you accept love into yourself, into your life, you are allowing yourself first to experience unconditional love. You are allowing yourself first to understand what is unconditional love. Ooh, all right, we had a little technical difficulty there, but as I was saying before, it's like you are opening up this space for you to understand what unconditional love means to you. And it's a process, I'm not saying that this is something that happens overnight. It absolutely isn't, but you're taking that first step towards a direction that we are all taking as a collective. And so you are going to attract that love. You are going to attract unconditional love, because unconditional love is everything. It is absolutely everything when it comes from a place of authenticity. So self-love is a major, major aspect of healing when it comes to mental health, when it comes to physical health, when it comes to health in general, when it comes to you and your transformation and your growth. Self-love, unconditional love, it is one of the main factors that you should be prioritizing. Not even main factor. It should be the number one thing that you should be prioritizing. Because when you lose that sense of unconditional love, when you lose that connection to love, you lose that connection to every single aspect in your life, regardless of what it is. You lose it. You disconnect from it, because love is that universal tie that connects us. That is why we're able to connect through music. That is why we're able to connect through artwork. And regardless of races and skin color or cultures, we are able to connect. That is love. It's acceptance. It's accepting that, yes, this is your form of expression. I accept it. I want to look at it. I want to study it. I want to understand it. That is love. Love is acceptance, y'all. And it's so crazy, because I was so blind to this for so long, and I was always searching for that feeling of what they told me what love was. I was always searching for the feeling, and you can find that feeling in so many places, because that feeling, all that it is comfort. It's validation to you, right? So when something or someone gives us that feeling of comfort and validation and whatever it is, we're going to feel that it's love. And so I chased it. I searched for it everywhere, and I neglected myself. I neglected, the understanding that I am love. You are love. We are love. As cliche as that may sound, that is truth. That is truth. And that is something that we can all understand if we even took the time and space to. Because truth is, there's this thing. I'm not going to go too much off track, but it kind of just popped up to my mind, where we as a collective, you know how there's different laws, and like politically there's different laws, etc., whatever, different rules. Those aren't our rules. Those are our laws. Those are simply limitations. But when it comes to us collectively as humans, as souls experiencing this human experience, there are universal laws. Absolutely there are. And honestly, we can have another episode on it, but I'm not going to touch too much base on it because it's very complex. But there are universal laws, and those universal laws, they show up in our lives daily, on a daily basis. And that is what connects us. And that is love. Those universal laws are unconditional love. And that is something that we experience every single breath that we take collectively. And it's to the point where it's like, it can be experienced in different forms and different variations, but it's all the same thing. It's all the same message. It's all the same universal understanding of this human experience. And it all just goes back to love. Like, I can explain so many different things, and it's all just going to trace back to love. At the end of the day, it's going to come back to love. Love always wins. And I know that we go through a lot of chaos and conflicts and experiences that make us feel like love is gone, like it's not there, like it's destroyed. But we need to understand and understand, love is not a feeling. Love is a choice. So when you choose to stand up amidst the chaos and create that peace, that is love. When you choose to stand up against hate and say, hey, we deserve better, that is love. When you choose to stand as a community and accept one another, regardless of what, Karen and everyone else is saying behind you, that is love. Love is a choice. Love is energy and action. And when it comes from a place of authenticity, that is unconditional. That is unbreakable. And even if it's the smallest thing, it could be you simply acknowledging that someone exists, you simply waving at someone, saying hello. That is unconditional love, because you are making a choice to acknowledge that person, because you are making a choice to not follow the rules of society, not go with the crowd and pretend that no one exists and, keep your head down in your phone. No, you're choosing to turn your phone off, look up, and acknowledge that you are surrounded by other humans and other souls, that you are surrounded by life, that you are surrounded by beauty. And when you are capable of doing that, when you make that a habit of being in the present moment and choosing to be aware, choosing to be present, choosing to express love, that is unconditional love. And that is when you achieve peace, and that is when you achieve balance, and that is when you achieve success. Because peace, balance, success, love, security, those are not feelings, those are not objects. They're a state of being. They are a choice. And that's why in my last episode, I also mentioned you always have a choice. No matter what it is, no matter what circumstance, you always have a choice, because everything is energy. And so when we're experiencing something that's negative, that makes us feel negative, you have a choice to transmute that energy. You have a choice to turn those emotions into drive and passion, to create, to drive and passion, to inspire, to make changes. That is unconditional love. Okay? And, I spoke a lot today. And if you made it this far, you're incredible. And you just made that choice to love. So thank you. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate you holding this space and allowing me to share with you. As we are sharing energies, no matter where you are right now, I'm sharing energies with you. we are connecting right now because you are choosing to hold space for me. And I am choosing to express my forms of love through affirmations and experiences. So I appreciate you, wholly, fully. And I think that was about everything I wanted to touch topic on today. In terms of just the overall understanding and understanding of unconditional love. And it's a choice, it is action, it is not a feeling. So if you want to love someone, if you want to love something, no matter how you feel, always choose to respect that person. Always choose to take care of yourself so that you're able to take care of them, right? That's unconditional love. You know, sometimes we feel like we have to constantly give and constantly, show affection and give time to others. But by you not giving time and love and affection to yourself, that is being selfish. I know it's a little crazy, it is being selfish because you are only able to give unconditional love and true authentic love to a person when you hold it within yourself. So it's like you cannot get water from an empty well and try to put it in another bucket because there's nothing in that well, So when you're trying to love someone or trying to show someone affection and being there for someone and you feel that your love tank is empty, it's not fair for you or for them. So that is why prioritizing yourself, prioritizing your self-love, prioritizing your mental health and every aspect of you first before prioritizing others, that is true unconditional love. Because you're waking up that day and saying, you know what? I'm going to choose to be my best self so I can love others as my best self. So I can showcase and express my best love at my most limitless capacity. Okay? So, we done said a lot today. But it's just realizing you have a choice, that free will. Okay? And I'm not going to hold you up a little too long. But I just wanted to sit down and have that conversation and express those perspectives because it's something that I wish someone sat down and talked to me about. But then again, I understand that it is something that we are collectively not taught. We are not taught to love unconditionally. We are taught to love conditionally. And everything that we see, everything that they teach us, it is conditional love. It is not unconditional. It is love with rules, love with limitations, and that's not fair, right? So it's up to us, it's up to you to choose to love yourself unconditionally so that you can show others what unconditional love is, okay? You are the hero of your story, so stop waiting for others to make you feel like you are saved. You are saved by choosing to save yourself, by choosing to love yourself, by choosing to accept yourself. Okay? So, that will conclude today's episode. I hope you connected. I hope you got something from it. And if you didn't, I hope it inspires thoughts and, expressions later on, moving on in your journey. So yeah. I hope you enjoy the rest of your morning, day, evening, night, whatever it may be for you, because you, my beautiful, beautiful soul, are deserving of the best and only the best things the universe has to offer. Period. And make sure to stay connected with me and stay connected with those around you. It all starts with you. Sometimes we feel like we're alone, but in reality, it's because no one has the courage to take the first step. No one has the courage to take that first initiative to start the conversation. Okay? So be that person to start the conversation. Be that person to take action first so that you can inspire that domino effect. Okay? I love you so, 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 so much. And I shall see you on episode 3 of Phoenix Healing Podcast, where mental health matters.